it's Vanessa filming for Carolyn's Musings on YouTube and Etsy and One Way Journals on Facebook. So what I've got for you today is, I'm not sure if I should call it a notebook or a scrapbook. It's actually the size of A4, which is just a little bit taller than US letter size. And I'll tell you how it's all come about, this inspiration. It was the beautiful Rosa who did a quick little video, and she shared it on our Facebook group, and it was a couple of weeks ago, and she is undertaking a massive task, and she had organized a journal where she's going to write the Bible, the whole Bible. She's going to write it, which is a fabulous way of learning how to learn scripture and to remember it. But yes, I was like, that's just so inspiring and so fantastic. And I'm pretty sure she used one of the journal toppers that Carolyn has released. And Carolyn has released just so many beautiful kits. She does anyway all the time, but particularly there's journal toppers. And then I've also, what's actually the main feature of the papers in this is actually the lace and burlap papers, which were a freebie over on the Facebook group. So if you're not, and she shared it a couple of weeks ago, if you're not on Facebook, I'll link a link in the description. Speak to Carolyn, because I'm sure that she'll probably put it up for a couple of dollars on Etsy. But I just love these. I know I'm going to use these a lot in a lot of journals to come. I just love the whole lace look. So what I thought was, how about if I make a journal or a notebook or a scrapbook, and I had a spare notebook that I thought, and that's why it ended up being this size instead of, you know, the normal A5, which is half the size. And I thought, why don't I do one that is like books of the Bible and a summary of what each Bible is, what each book is about. So who's the author, what time period, when it was written, and a brief summary of what the book, who's it speaking to. Is it speaking to the early church, etc., whether it's in the Old Testament or the New Testament? So that's what I have for you today. So I've used burlap, I call it sort of Hessian here, to make the cover to fit into that. So we've got some journal toppers. We've also got some tabs that I've been able to print on paper, on this sort of, match it with these. And anyway, so there's a little, and I've used the alphabet here. Anyway, I've used washi in here as well. So here we go. It's ended up quite big, but let me get on to the next section just to give you a quick overview of what the papers look like. Okay, so I had a bit of an idea, just wasn't sure how I was going to execute it, so we're just going to go with it. So I had an A4 size notebook, and this is what I've decided that I wanted to do a summary of each book of the Bible. So I had to make sure that this notebook had at least 66 pages in it, and also you can't see it now, but the cover was like a pinky peach color with a gold strip through it and some writing on it. And so when I decided to cover that I wanted to do this in burlap, or you might want to call it Hessian, I had strips of this from decor parties that I've done for friends, like a South African 50th birthday, etc. So I had lots of this already, and when I went to put it on the cover, you could see that's seeping through. So that's why I've printed out the burlap plain background paper. And so these papers are from a kit that Carolyn has given us free on the Facebook group. But what comes with that are 13 papers, and one of them is, I've actually printed that twice, is the plain burlap backing paper. So this is a fantastic thing to use in all of our journal kits. And then these papers, I just fell in love with them, and this is what gave me the idea to make this journal. And so I'll just go through them with you. Now, I printed this one first and it didn't print correctly. So I have just made them like this. So it's called Burlap and Lace. As you can see, aren't they just beautiful? Love, love, love. Okay. Right, and so there's one backing and 12 different papers. Okay, so they're going to go into my journal, and that's what inspired me on how to make the cover. And then what I've done is there is some blanks, so they're just black and white tabs with all the books of the Bible. And so I've printed that out, and then I've done one of the backing, one of these lace and burlap pages. I did it at 50% opacity, and so then printed them so that you could see the books of the Bible on them. So there's 3 pages. There's 1, 2 and 3. This was a full page, but down the bottom there was a couple of these extra blank ones, and I have already cut them off because I wanted to see the size of that tab, and I'll explain why in just a second. So that's fabulous. And then what I wanted to do was we'll come back to these pages in just a sec. So here we go. So with this, I've just put this on the front and the back, and then here is my Hessian cover. Now, the burlap cover, but the idea that I had was that I was going to make it removable, and I messed up, but it's okay, we're going to go with it. So the idea was that here it's going to slip within the pockets here, and then I don't have an overlocker, but I just did a zigzag stitch across the top and the bottom and the sides, and I made it exactly the size of my A4 book. And when I put this in here, you'll see that I now don't have enough room. Silly me. Because it's the same size, I now don't have enough room to glue or to stitch that there to then create the pocket. So now it's not going to be removable, it's just going to be a cover. And so what I'll do is I'll have to stitch or glue this down so that it's not removable, because I don't have any space to do that on the top and the bottom. I hope that makes sense. So before I glue that down, I'm going to want to put some printed paper, something here. Initially I was going to put, you know, this Hessian paper or burlap, but I decided I didn't want the two together, so I'll come back with what I was going to do for that. Now with the A4 notepad that I've got, I wanted my tabs to go here for all the books of the Bible, but it's going to stick out and then interfere with this cover. And so because the pages are the same width, the pages were the same width as the cover, so what I've done is I've just cut, hopefully you can see that there, I've cut some card that was, I think that's 2 inches wide, and I've just stuck that here on this side, and it has just extended. If I show you that there up to the camera, I did extra just to make it sturdy, but it's just added I think that's half an inch. I just added because I measured the tab against the corner of the page and then said, okay, that's how much I need to at least extend it by, and then a little bit more. I hope that's making sense. I just needed the cover to be wider than the pages, so I just extended that with a bit of card on the front and the back. Okay, so now the tabs will sit here, and they won't stick out from the front and the back. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is go off camera, and I will stick these down, and the pages that I want to put in here. Now I've printed 3. Now these pages are from the shabby journal covers which Carolyn has recently received, and they come in pink, blue, peach and neutral. And the neutral could have been great. There was lots of darker browns in here, but I wanted to light it up initially because of this cover. And now of course it's all been covered up, it doesn't really matter. But I really loved these images here, and so I haven't printed all the pages, but this is actually from the pink kit, not the peach one, but I thought these flowers were a good mix of sort of a pinky peach color. And so there's going to be one on the inside cover, front and back, and then one of them I want to do something with them on the front. And I wasn't sure if I was just going to cover this all in lace, or if I'll rip one of these up and put it up and then do some lace around. So I'll have a bit of a play with that. So that's going to happen there. And then these pages, I have printed a couple of them from the Peach kit. Now you'll see that these are full size. Now they actually come in a normal A5 journal size. So the normal journals that we make are either letter size or A4 that are folded in half, and that's the size of your journal. And then these are designed to be journal toppers. What I've done is, because this is a really big notebook, A4 size, I've extended them out to make them A4. So with these, I've actually chosen these two, because what I'm probably going to do on my Cricut is cut out words, and I'm going to do Old Testament along there and New Testament along there, and that's going to do the break between this part here, and then further down here I'll put one that says New Testament. So that will go there. And then, so they're those main pages. And then all my burlap pages, what I'll probably do is one double page per book. And so one of these, oh, that's the misprint. Sorry. Let's have a look. So one of these will go here, and then on this side is where I'm going to write the summary. So each book I will do the author, the time period, a bunch of summaries, and then the key verses that stick out to me per passage, or a brief summary of each book. And so that's what each one will be like. And this page is just for here for prettiness for me to look at. And then when I'm journaling and I'm going through the process, you know, over the next 6 or 12 months, however long it takes me to do it, I'll see how thick this comes together, and then I might add some pockets and some tags and things like that. I'm not going to show that now in this process, obviously, because it's going to be something I'm going to be doing over the 6 or 12 months while I'm doing it. But at the moment, you'll see that I'll just be gluing those down per book. Okay, so let me do that, and then I'll come back to you. I thought I'd do a little check-in, and so I've added this beautiful digital here and added some lace down on this side of the pocket, and then I've done one on the back page as well. And then so this one, I have stuck this down, and instead of using my Cricut to cut out the letters, I remembered that I have Carolyn's beautiful shabby embroidery letters, so that says Old Testament. So I actually fussy cut them out and then stuck them on there. And I did ink around the edge of this and this one. I didn't with the letters. This is for me. If it was for somebody else, I'd probably do the extra effort, but I just thought this is going to be a very big, time-consuming but very enjoyable journal, and so I thought, look, I'm just not going to break my back by trying to ink everything. So that's okay. You know, if you know me, you know I love to ink everything, but that's okay. So Old Testament there, and then I have on this side, I have put a list of all the books of the Old Testament here, and this is my first page here with Genesis. And then what I'm going to do is leave this space, and once I've gone through Genesis, I'm going to pick out my favorite verse and probably put that on the front of this cover page. And then this page here is going to be where I'm going to write all my notes about the author and anything that I'd like to do as a summary for Genesis. And then this will be my second page going on to the next one, which is Exodus. So that's what I wanted to show you with that. And then what I have done on the cover so far is I did add this digital. I just ripped around the edges, and I added like a sepia color ink on the edge, but also a bit of the pink as well. So it sort of gave that peachy sort of pink vibe around the edges. And I've added some lace on the spine there. I haven't put an image on the back. And then a little bit later, I'd love to come back and I'll show you what I've done, because I'm definitely going to add some more lace and bits and pieces on the front here. But so far, this is what we've got. Okay, I'll come back to you when I've achieved a bit more. Hi again. I thought I'd do a bit of a check-in. So I've actually added all my pages in, all the way to the back through to the New Testament as well. So I just love these papers, and I added in the New Testament here with the fussy cut with the lettering there on those. So something I wanted to mention was when you're planning, if you're planning to make something similar to this, I pretty much used all the pages bar about 8 or 10 that I ended up pulling out. Now the only thing with that is it's actually made the spine very, very tight, because if you can see here, and that's because I've literally doubled the size of the notebook by adding on these sheets, but I've only taken away 8. So that means that the spine is, as I said, is tight, and it's not too crocodile mouth, it's not too bad, but if you're going to do something like this, it's probably better to plan something, you know, this has got 66 pages plus, you know, the extra with the cover of the Old Testament and the New Testament, so maybe 68. You might want to go something that's maybe double the size so that you can remove those extra pages just to give you a bit more room. You know, I'm happy with this. This is just for me, and I'm going to be writing notes on this page, but it means I can't really add any tags or anything like that in it because it's already, you know, pulling very full on the spine here. So that's just something to consider. Also, it is a lot of pages that are in here, obviously printouts, but we use that in journals anyway. So I've done this with an A4 size, but you might want to consider doing something in a normal journal size, which would be A5, and you know, then you're not using as many printouts. So after I finished that, I shouldn't be filming at this time. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and it's peak hour. I can hear all the traffic outside. Hopefully that's not too distracting for you. But what I've decided to do is add some washi on underneath the tabs on the reverse side, just to pretty them up a little bit. So you can see that I've already started doing that. I'm only about a third, or maybe a third of the way through, but I wanted to show you that I had pre-thought that I was going to do something on the other side, and I chose washi because it's thin. Adding more paper is just going to bulk it up too much. But I wanted to show you that when I added the tabs, so I added all my pages, then I added my tabs on, and I glued down the front and the two bits that join together here, but I didn't actually add glue on that part. And so when I'm going to put in the washi, I can do the strip in underneath there and then glue that down over the top of the washi, which is what you can see I've done here. So just wanted to give you that tip. So I'm going to go finish doing all the washi on here, and then I'll come back and do the cover with you. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so time to decorate the front cover. So I've just grabbed some lace, some offcuts, and thought I'd just sort of stick them on here. So I thought you could stay with me as I do that, but I'll do it pretty quick. There we go. So a piece there, might need a bit more glue. There we go. And then I had this piece of sort of fiddling around with pieces, so I thought that one I'll stick there. And then I've got something a little bit different to put on top, but I think you might like it because it's going to be fantastic for what this journal is actually for. Now you could sort of scrunch that up a bit if you want sort of a bit more of a textured feel like that. There we go. And then I printed off this cross. I did reduce it because it was the size of a journal page, and this is in the kit The Love of God, and made a beautiful journal using that kit, and so it's stunning. I'll add the details in the description box. So I thought that cross would look really lovely there, and the colors that go with that really well. So I'm going to pop that on top. I think normal glue should be okay. Art glitter glue, because I don't have Fabri-Tac, but a lot of the time I can get away with it with this, and if not, I'll use a hot glue gun. glue gun, which I have got heated up. So I might just stick that there. So because I'm using this, which will be a summary of all the books of the Bible, that I thought would be a nice addition on the top there. And then I've got this flower sort of with the colours. I thought that might go quite well. So I'm just going to glue gun that there. So I got a little stand for this, and I've been able to do it so it can reach over to the desk while I'm filming. Hopefully I'll just push that up so you can see that, just in case I'm not in shot. I'm just sort of thinking if I can move them up a bit so they're not so flat. I'm wondering if I thinking if I'm wondering if I put a bit of glue around and then squash those ones up a bit and hold it for a second, see if that will, and then I might do the next layer as well. Yeah, so just having a little think and a little play with that. And then I'd love to hear in the comments if you, hasn't really done much, has it? Okay, we'll do the next layer and see how we go. So yeah, I'd love to for you guys to comment if you've ever attempted to do that, where you've written out the Bible like Rosa has done, which is a great way, I think, for learning, and for, you know, when you're writing it down, you'll remember stories more. So it'd be interesting to see if any of you have done that and if it's helped, because I think it's amazing what Rosa is doing. As I said, this was an idea. If that seems a bit too overwhelming for people to do, I thought this might be a good option, you know, to do a summary of all the books of the Bible, and then it's something you could look back and refer to. But there were just so many fabulous new kits and things that I thought would be great to incorporate in this sort of this look. But anyway, I'm attempting this just to sort of scrunch it up. I'll give it a couple of seconds, and if it doesn't work, I'll do it off camera and see if I can achieve sort of a bit more of a bunched up look. And I've got a couple more bits of lace, so we might, okay, I'll come back to that. So I just thought I might add some more bits and pieces, so I might do something like that there. Now if I do, where are the, here we go. So the best way to achieve that is just to sort of do a haggity, so it's not a straight line, just sort of hack at the lace to get, you know, a bit of a raggedy edge there. And I'm going to want to round this one a little bit, once again, not too straight. Maybe that might look good at the top there. Okay, so I'll stick this one down. Right, that can just sort of be bunched up a little bit there, and a little bit more glue there. But give it enough time to dry. It does, this does work well for it to just stay in place. I can always touch that up. And then maybe I want a bit more on this section here. Oops. If I did that there, cut it, let's just have a bit of a play. Okay, just a little bit in there might be good. I'll cut this bit off, and then I have another little idea that I wanted to share with you too. So let me just get this bit on there. That sort of blends in okay, doesn't it? Hopefully. Okay, all right. Was there anything else? I think that's enough there. I can always add a bit more later. So I had this other idea. Now, these bits here on the flower, this sort of reminded me of, I know it's not gold, but just sort of the ribbony sort of effect reminded me of a bit of gold splash. And I remembered that I have bought these ages ago, gold flecks. I've got them in silver and red gold as well, and literally have not used it. So I'm pretty sure if I just add some blue to there and then press down, this stuff flies away. So we're going to put some paper on underneath, hopefully tip that onto there. It's very messy and it all sticks to itself, but I thought if I do that, we might be able to get some gold flecks going on. Let's hope this works. Maybe a bit here. So comment down below if you have ever seen these and if you've used it in your craft before, and if you're like me thinking that's a great idea, bought some and then didn't do anything with it. So here we go, can't wait to see. Stick that to the glue and then we'll rub it off a bit later. Now there's a bit here. I don't know how much I should do. We'll scrub it off when it's in just a sec. See, look, so sticky. Now I'm not sure. Let's rub this off and see what we're left with. There we go. Some there and then some there. I wish I could hear you and whether you think I should do this big bit here. I should, shouldn't I? Well, I'm going to do it. So we'll put this in here. Just gives it a bit of pizzazz, doesn't it? Didn't need that much. Okay, leave that there, and maybe if it will pick up a couple of these bits in here, that would look pretty. Should do a bit there and a bit there. Okay. Oh dear, it's so messy, but it's fun. Okay. I bought this so long ago, I can't even remember where I got it. It might have been like on eBay in Australia, could have been. I tend to do that because Amazon is very expensive for us for shipping and things. I think there's a bit more here I'm going to do. And I might do this bit here. Okay. I'd love to hear what you think when I've finished. Okay, so let me go clean this. I don't want to hold you up, so I will switch off the camera, clean this up, and then give you a final look through to see how it looks. Okay, just a sec. Okay, it's all finished. I'll just bring this up a little bit closer and hopefully you can see the gold fleck that has come out. I just love it. I know I'm going to use this for a lot more journals in the future, so fantastic, really happy with that. So yeah, so we've got lace, we've got gold fleck, some floral bits, pieces here and across, and then you've seen pretty much this as I've gone through. So Old Testament, and then there we go. So they're all pretty much the same, just different pages throughout. Lots of space for me to write in my summary. There we go. And then I cut this a little bit crooked, but that's okay. It's just for me. I don't mind so much. And I didn't have any more of that burlap lace, but I can always put another something on there later on, but that's just created a pocket with that image as well. So there we go. That's all finished. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and you know, even if you don't want to do it this way, maybe there are some elements or some new kits or some new things in here that were inspiring, and that there was something that you liked about this video. So please comment down below if there's anything that you enjoyed or you'd like to see in the future, and we would so love it for the channel just to help it grow. If you could like, subscribe if you haven't already, that would be fantastic. So God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.